Saturday morning, and we're back. I apologize first and foremost for Relationship 360, which isn't happening yet. And we'll join after this special interview we're having this morning with great personalities who join us on 99.3 Nigeria Info. I'm Aoho Obo. And a warm welcome to the Director General of the National Broadcasting Commission. Great to have Professor Armstrong Idachaba join us this fine morning. And Professor Idachaba is joined by Dr. Vincent Chibike, who is the Zonal Director of the Broadcasting Commission. Also a great warm welcome to you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much. It's good to be on Lagos Talk Station, Nigeria Info.
Absolutely. Number one, talk, news, and sports station. Great to have you. Everyone join us this fine morning. Professor Idachaba is a professor of mass communication who's served in various positions in the Broadcasting Commission. He studied in the country, outside the country, and has made giant strides in theater and in broadcasting also too. So it's a great pleasure to have you again join us this fine morning, Professor Idachaba.
Again, it's my pleasure to be here. Thank you very much.
Excellent. And Dr. Chibike also too. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay. All right. Okay, so it's been a while, but they say it's better late than never, which is what has happened with the digital switchover, which you're talking about this morning, Professor Idachaba. 2016 and 2017, we've moved year after year, pushing the benchmark. 5 states have done the pilot. We have 31 states now. And thankfully, we have Lagos now in the horizon and in the lenses. So first and foremost, I'm sure you want to educate millions of our listeners. There's a lot of acronyms: DSO, DTT, DHH. So DSO, people are going to get acquainted with DSO, which is digital switchover.
Fantastic.
Straight away to know what it's about.
Yes, and I thank you again for getting the acronym DSO right. Digital switch over, but simply transiting from analog to digital broadcasting. When you switch off from analog and then you switch on digital, and then you switch off analog, which will happen much later. DTT, digital terrestrial television. Right? That's transmission of digital content terrestrially. Different from what you do on satellite, different from what you do on other pay TV platforms. All right, yes, you're right. The story of the digital switchover in Nigeria is one that's been running for quite a while. A key point to note is that the digital transition is a multifaceted transition. It's one that comes with a lot of buy-in, it comes with a lot of challenges. It's intricate and it's a process that must be managed carefully. No country has actually announced a switchover date in a whim and got it done by magic. No. Because there are economic considerations. At the bottom of it, you are thinking about affordability. You are thinking about access. You are thinking about moving a large chunk of an indigent population across the digital divide. So there are also political considerations. There are social considerations. And if you weigh all of that together, especially in a country that's hugely populated like Nigeria, then you know that it's one project that has to be managed carefully. Albeit, yes, we may have been slow, but like you rightly identified. We're already rolled out in 6 states.
Good.
And the National Broadcasting Commission strategically thought that it would be perhaps more creative, more calculated to enter the big cities after experimenting with some of the smaller cities. And that was why we began with Jos in 2016. Of course, you know Jos, small city, sizable population, fairly urban, with a history of television in Nigeria.
Very rich history, yeah.
Yeah, right. So Jos provided that test ground. And from Jos, of course, we moved to Kaduna, we moved to Osun State, we moved to Abuja, we moved to Enugu, and now we are sure that the template is working, and we can now take on perhaps Nigeria's biggest city and biggest commercial hub, which is Lagos. So,
absolutely.
And from Lagos, if you follow our rollout, we are moving to Rivers State, Port Harcourt. From there, we go to Kano, we'll go to Gombe, Yobe, and other states will follow suit.
All right. Great to have Dr. Vincent Chibike here. So he's on ground in Lagos, and he will tell us how ready Lagos is for this rollout.
Yeah, thank you very much. We always say in Lagos, a go for show. And one of the things we are doing is to mobilize Lagosians for this important exercise. And 3 weeks ago, we had a tour of the facilities of the signal providers in the DSO, which is a very important element when it comes to DSO. The signal providers are very, very ready and ready to take off. And we also mobilize the stakeholders, who the content providers, presently the television stations, they are equally ready. Because everybody wants to have a clear signal. Everybody wants to enjoy content the way content is supposed to be enjoyed. And in doing that, what we are now doing is to mobilize all stakeholders so that they buy into this important exercise. And that is why the DG, MBC deem it fit to come into town and to really mobilize the Lagosians, mobilize government, people in government, more local government, the television stations, the people the grassroots people who are supposed to enjoy television the way television is supposed to be enjoyed. That is exactly what we are doing. Virtually, everybody's ready for this switchover.
Right. So thank you very much, Dr. Vincent Chibike, Zonal Director, National Broadcasting Commission. In case you're just joining in, we're having discussion around digital switchover, and Lagos is the center of attraction right now. We have the Acting Director General of the National Broadcasting Commission, Professor Armstrong Idachaba. We're streaming this live on YouTube as well as on Facebook, so you can go in and watch this conversation happen. So, Professor Idachaba, there's a question I'm sure millions of Nigerians, especially those in Lagos, we love to ask questions. So while you're enjoying the Lagos hospitality, which I'm sure you're getting large amounts of, why should people buy into this? Why should the average resident in Lagos buy into this project?
First of all, it's a proposition that has taken into consideration the uniqueness of Nigeria as a cultural entity, also as a political, social entity. It's one proposition that perhaps is intended by conceptualization and philosophy, to aggregate our diverse cultural entities, fuse them together and fashion them into a national vehicle. And at the base of it is also a determination, a principled determination to bridge the social disequilibrium. Don't forget that digital television is actually on ground commercially. Before now, even as we speak, many people subscribe to DSTV, they subscribe to other pay TV services. Many people are on other OTT services, but of course, that they at all the point they have to part with money through subscription, or they pay, they use their tariff. So commercial DTT, commercial digital television, has been very much available, and a lot of Nigerians are actually having access to commercialized TV, digital television services. But what government wants to achieve with this DTT rollout is a conscious policy, like I said, to move the people at the lower bracket, the lower equilibrium, move them across the digital divide so that they too can have access to digital technology through digital broadcasting. One of the unique features of this proposition is that we are going to also interface. There's a converging point between broadcasting and telecom, so that people who have these set-top boxes, which are like small decoders, can also have a degree of interactiveness. So, but also free of charge. And that's the point. This service is going to be free of charge to the ordinary Nigerian. All the ordinary Nigerian requires is just to get a mini set-top box, mini decoder, little usable decoder. And then once he plugs on his TV, then he has access to 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 TV channels, all running, hugely diversified. Sports, music, movies, documentaries, news and the like, all of them, like I've said, free of charge. So the proposition basically is at the heart of it is a determination to leapfrog, the ordinary mass of the country and give them access rightly as citizens, to modern digital television services.
Absolutely. I mean, it's long overdue. I can imagine people, as we say, we kick out polio, is there we kick out analog. Because of the benefits which Prof. Idachaba has mentioned. To the viewers, to the broadcaster, it's a win-win situation. But Dr. Chibike, when we talk about, Professor Idachaba said it's going to be free, this set-top box and all of that. How do people get them? Are there places they will have to go and pick up the boxes?
Yeah, the rollout will be on 29th April this year. And everything is being planned towards that rollout. And I think from then, there will be a designated places that you can easily pick your decoder, because the decoder is made as cheap as possible, affordable to an average Nigerian, and at the same time, it will be provided every corner of the country so that people will have access to pick it up, and off you go. Yes.
Beginning from the 29th of this month?
Yeah, beginning from 29th of this month.
Okay. Is there a time period in which people can access it? This is going to go on and on. Will there be a cutoff date?
No, there's no cutoff date. The beginning of the transition in Lagos is on 29th. And beginning from that day, everybody can easily pick your decoder. And it's something that is very, very technically easy for you to connect the decoder to your receiver. And you have a digital...
thank you, Doctor. Maybe we should add that 6 months after April 29th, we will switch off analog TV.
What are the implications?
Yeah, the implication is that all the broadcasters who now transmit their own signal will have to switch off their transmitters, because the digital platform provides services for what you call signal distributors, who are going to be signal carriers. Just 2 of them are going to carry all the channels that are available in Lagos. So, and those are the platforms that will be doing the transmission.
Okay.
So what it means, therefore, is that after this rollout, 6 months after, if you do not have a set-top box or a little decoder, you may not have access to television. So it's an imperative. And that is why we think that this is important, so that Nigerians can get ready. Of course, the analog TV service you enjoy is heavily limited. I mean, like you noted, is technology that has gone obsolete. I was on your sister's station, and we just recounted how difficult it is to watch analog TV. You have to turn your pull. You have to, sometime intermittently it goes off. It becomes like ghosting images, So it's a bit of a setback for any society or any citizen to be having that experience in the 21st century. So that is why we think that this is necessary, and we think that all governments, including the Lagos State government, should support this. Let me also hint that as free as it is of subscription, viewers will require to part with a token amount of money to get the decoder, because we consciously and deliberately licensed about 13 companies, and indigenous Nigerian companies, to develop set-top boxes, decoders that are indigenous to us, that will facilitate the viewing of those TV channels. So those ones are going to have to sell those boxes, but at a highly reduced rate. We want it as low as possible so that it's affordable. So perhaps that's the only thing to buy. After that box, you plug your TV. Again, the point is made, you must not throw away your current TV. Your current TV, analog as it is, remains very useful.
There's nothing wrong with the TV.
It's good. It's good to go. Once you put up the box, you have all the viewing experience.
All right. I was going to ask you about ancillary services which will be available to Nigerians through the digital box. But before I ask that, you have 6 states where this has been rolled out already in, and I know you have a background in lecturing also too, so you're a good examiner to be able to say how they have fared in those states where the rollout happened. What's your assessment?
Fantastic, incredible. One of the images I keep talking about is the pilot in JAWS. When we switched on JAWS, and then we made some boxes available that were acquired by the Plateau State government for some of its indigents. And I went to one of the remote villages at the fringes of the capital city, JAWS. Right. And I have this picture of a local family, very rural family, sitting in a very modest hut-like, remote village hut-like household. And here before them were clean, clear crypt signals, and they were flipping through. Honestly, so it's unimaginable. You find somebody living in a hut, perhaps a mud hut, right, and having access to digital content.
The irony of life is those living in mansions, we're still struggling with the unclear signals.
Then, right? Yes.
We hope that will change as soon as possible. So the ancillary services.
A lot of ancillary services, and I'm good you raised that. Like I said, the set-top box, as part of the feature, part of the application, is that there's an interface point, where you just put in a dongle, and with the dongle, of course, you get internet access.
Wow.
Right, and so what that means is that the set-top box is a tool for convergence. So you can now engage in interactiveness. You can now share data. And this is very useful in terms of audience measurement and viewing habits. We are now able to read in scientific terms, who is watching what and at what time. And that provides data for the advertising industry. Don't forget that over time, one of the major problems in terms of the quantification of the value of the advertising sector is that there's no realizable or reliable data.
Right.
Now, this set-top box that we are going to deploy across the country to about 22 to 44 million households is a huge data pool, and I think that is going to dynamize and revolutionize data collection and advertising practice in Nigeria. Also, as part of the ancillary service, is that there are also provisions for what you call added TV services. There's what you call added TV services. You are able to upload pictures or video, and then you can also stream them on, and then through the system we call push VOD, video on demand. Right. And then those of you who are in the upper rung, who want experience beyond the free, can now also part with a few of your excess money, and then you can have some of those specialized services.
Right. All right. Thank you very much. I see Professor Idachaba paints a picture, and it makes you want to throw away this analog as quickly as possible, because the difference is as far as the sky is from the earth in how the services and the features and the benefits amount to the users. Dr. Chibike, Lagos is such a huge city, over 20 million people at least, and you probably are thinking the sort of public outreach to get everyone involved in this entire process. What plans does the zonal office have?
Yes, right away the jingles are already on air. The mobilization is on, and that sensitization is equally on. And part of what we are doing here today is to sensitize Lagosians that DSO is real. Unlike before that we've been on, it's like a talk show, but now DSO have come down to Lagos. Like we normally say, a go for show. And the sensitization is on, and the mobilization is equally on, and we are ready to go. Yes, all the stakeholders are equally involved. Precisely on Monday, the DG with the minister and all the stakeholders gathered in Lagos to deliberate on this DSO takeoff in Lagos. So I must assure you that all the stakeholders are equally involved, and we are free to go.
Absolutely. So as you bring the conversation to a close, dear wonderful NBC who's shown up today, I do hope you have enjoyed But by the way, what do you think about our studios, Professor Idachaba?
From day one, I think that the managers of Steam Broadcasting came with a unique niche, and you've not compromised standards. I remember way back 1995, 1996. Yeah. I had come here severally, and the aesthetic quality, the crave for quality and excellence, even then, had already been set up, and I'm glad you are keeping the tradition. What is even more fulfilling is the fact that you've been able to create a niche for yourself. You are a must-listen station across the country. Right. I know that once in a while NBC has had to punish you, but on a general basis, I think you've been very contributory in terms of engaging debate and political enlightenment and bringing Nigerians to interact, which is the basis for a healthy society. I also want to use the opportunity, just like my zonal director said, to thank you for the support you've given in terms of the jingles you're already running. I know you're doing that, not for NBC, you're doing it for the good of the Nigerian people. Absolutely. So on their behalf, we'll say thank you. We also expect you do more. And I must commend you. Agogo Obo. Very African, unique. Yes. I must commend you for what you do. I must tell you, listeners, as calm as his voice looks, he's also calm and composed in the studio. Keep up the good work. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And I'm sure Dr. Vincent Chibike will tell you, if you got into any of the e-hailing rides, you try and tell them the dial is on 99.3, and you say, that's my station. They say, no.
Our station.
Final words from you, Dr. Vincent Chibike.
Yes, let me use this opportunity to really once again welcome the DG, NBC, and to having time to come to our station, because Nigerian Info remain our station. We regulate Nigerian Info, and like he rightly pointed out, Nigerian Info is doing well. And at the same time, we thank the management for giving us this opportunity to come down here to enlighten Lagosians that DSO is real. And for giving us that opportunity to play our jingle and to continue with this enlightenment.
Right. Thank you very much once again, Professor Armstrong Idachaba, Acting Director General, National Broadcasting Commission, as well as Dr. Vincent Chibike, Zonal Director, National Broadcasting Commission in Lagos. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Awogo.
All right.
We're grateful.
All right, we'll continue with Relationship 360. Please stay with us.
This is The Voice Note on 99.3 Nigeria.